Ligue 1 match week 1 post-match analysis. The French League match week 1 post-games analysis. Guys, you all are welcome to my YouTube channel, and if this is the first time you are watching a video on my YouTube channel, I will appreciate if you can just be patient and watch the video carefully till the end, because in this video I am going to be breaking down everything that happened in the French Ligue 1 match week 1, like from the first game till the last game. Remember, only 18 clubs are participating in the French Ligue 1 and 9 games were played on this match week 1. 8 games were victories. So 8 games were victories and 1 game resulted in a draw, which was a game between Lille against Brest. Now, when we take a look at the first game of this Ligue 1 match week 1, the first game was played on 15th of August 2025 on Friday. It was the game between Reims against Marseille, and the game ended 1-0 in favor of Reims. So when you take a look at that game, you discover that Reims player, one of their players, were sent off during the first 45 minutes of the game, and they played the game for close to 60 minutes with just 10 men against Marseille. And on the final minute, that's the final minute of the game, Reims scored a goal that gave them all the 3 points against Marseille. So 10 men Reims players won their game against Marseille. Right now, when you take a look at the games that followed after this game, because this game against Reims and Marseille was actually the first league game of the season, was a game that launched the Ligue 1 season 2025-2026, and only 1 game was played on Friday. Now on Saturday, the game at Lens against Lyon was the first game that was played on Saturday. The game ended 1-0 in favor of Lyon, and after Lyon game, they will have the game of Monaco against Le Havre, and the game ended 3-1 in favor of Monaco. We had the game of Nice against Toulouse. The game ended 1-0 in favor of Toulouse. There was also the game of Brest against Lille, of which the game ended 3-3 in favor of, and points were being shared, so the game was not actually in favor of anyone. Now there was also another game between Auxerre and Lorient. The game ended 1-0 in favor of Auxerre. So these are the games that were played on Sunday, right? I did not inform you guys. These were the games that were played on Sunday. Now there was a game of Metz against Strasbourg. The game ended 1-0 in favor of Strasbourg. There was a game of Angers versus Paris FC. The game ended 1-0 in favor of Angers. Paris FC was just recently promoted from Ligue 2 back to Ligue 1, and Angers won the game 1-0 despite one of their players were sent off in this game. Now the final game of match week 1 in Ligue 1 was played on Sunday, which was that of Nantes against PSG, and the game ended 1-0 in favor of PSG. When you take a look at that game, I know many of us expected Paris Saint-Germain to score many goals. Yes, they are the European champions. Many of us expected Paris Saint-Germain to score at least 3 goals besides they play the game against Nantes. And everybody were like, no, these are the European champions. It is a teammate of players that are the clear favorites to win the Ballon d'Or 2025. Why are they not going to score many goals? And many of us were surprised that at the end of the day, PSG scored just 1 goal, and it was actually Vitinha, the Portuguese midfielder, who scored the lone goal of the game. And that particular day on Sunday, the guy was the captain of the team. So guys, if you have come across all these games, like if you have watched the video right up to this point, you have taken a look at all these 9 games that I said, because like I said, 9 games were played, 8 of those games were victories, and 1 game was actually a draw, the game between Brest and Lille. So when you take a look at these 9 games, right, you discover that 8 clubs are already having 3 points. Paris Saint-Germain is having 3 points, Angers is having 3 points, Strasbourg is having 3 points, Auxerre is having 3 points, Toulouse is having 3 points, Monaco is having 3 points, Lyon is having 3 points, and Reims is also having 3 points. Brest and Lille are the only 2 clubs with 1 point. We have Marseille with 0 point, Lens with 0 point, Le Havre with 0 point, Nice with 0 point, Lorient with 0 point, Metz with 0 point, and Paris FC with 0 point, and Nantes with 0 point. So when you take a look at these Ligue 1 games, right, the first just after match week 1, do you think there is somebody, do you think there is a certain club that can compete with PSG for this league title this year? PSG won their first league game 1-0. Marseille, that we all thought they were going to compete with PSG, lost their first league game 1-0. Monaco won their first league game 3-1. Lille shared points in their first league game 1-1. So these are the only clubs that can compete alongside with PSG. But when you take a look at the players in these very clubs, you discover that no, the competition is going to be different. But I know the way you see football is different from the way HT football sees its own football things, right? Do you think there is a team that can compete with PSG for the league title? Now, let's just take a look at League One table after match week 1. Like I said, there are many clubs with 3 points. Let us take a look at League One table after match week 1. When you take a look at the table, you discover that Monaco is still at the top of the table with 3 points after scoring 3 goals. We have PSG with 3 points after scoring 1 goal and not conceding a goal. Strasbourg with 3 points, also Toulouse with 3 points, Lyon with 3 points, Auxerre with 3 points, Angers with 3 points, Reims with 3 points, Lille with 1 point, Brest with 1 point. Like I said, Lille shared points with Brest, so Lille is having 1 point. Brest is also having 1 point. When you move to the second part of the table, that's from number 11 to number 18, you see Lorient. These are the people with 0 points. Lorient is having 0 point, Metz is having 0 point, Nantes is having 0 point, Nice is having 0 point, Paris FC is having 0 point, Marseille is having 0 point, Lens is having 0 point, and Le Havre is having 0 point. Guys, those were the teams that played. Like, these were actually the games of the match we won in Ligue 1, right? The results, everything, goals that were being scored, teams that won, teams that lost the game, and even the league table. And now, when you take a look at these games, you discover that there was only 1 player in League 1 that scored 2 goals on that first day. It was Doumbia, who scored 2 goals on that first League 1 day. We also have Blas, who scored 1 goal for Reims. Blas was the one who scored the goal that against Marseille that gave them all the 3 points. Olivier Giroud returned back to France. He scored the goal, and he is the oldest goal scorer in the history of Lille. We also have so many players. When you take a look, you discover that there are so many players who scored 1 goal, 1 goal, 1 goal. Only 1 player scored 2 goals in this League 1 first day. And now, when you take a look at the upcoming fixtures, right, that's League 1 match week 2, you discover that the first game of the day is going to be that of PSG against Angers. The game is going to be played on Friday, which is actually going to be the first game of League 1 match week 2. The game is going to be played at exactly 7:45 African time, Cameroon time. Like, let me call my own time, Cameroon time, 7:45. And after this game on Friday, the other games will continue on Saturday. Sorry, the first game that is going to be played on Saturday will be that of Marseille against Paris FC, which is a game must win for Marseille. Now, let me take you guys back to the game of PSG against Angers. When you take a look at PSG's last 5 games, you discover that they have suffered just 1 defeat, in their last 5 games, and that defeat was against Chelsea at the Club World Finals, and the rest of the 4 games were victories for them. So this game against Angers is a game must win for PSG. And when you take a look at the game of Marseille against Paris FC, they lost their first League 1 game. Marseille lost their first League 1 game to Reims, and Marseille is one of the favorites to win the league title this year, but they lost their first League 1 game of the season. Marseille had a very good preseason. Aubameyang had to leave his Saudi Pro League club, terminated his contract with the Saudi Pro League club just to return back to Marseille, but Marseille had to lose their first League 1 game. So this game against Paris FC is the game where Marseille will need to start their season. Marseille will need to start the campaign of the 2025-2026 League 1 season. They need to start the campaign to run for the league title. It is where the title race is going to begin for Marseille. Now, the second game on that Saturday will be the game of Nice against Auxerre, which is going to be played at 6 o'clock. We'll have the game of Lyon against Metz, which is going to be played at 8 o'clock. Now, when you take a look at this game of Lyon against Metz, right, Lyon won their first game of the season. Remember, around, I think that was May ending, Lyon was relegated to League 2 because of financial issues, and they appealed for it, and they sent them back to League 1. Now, they played the first League 1 game and they won the game. So they are one of the clubs that won their first League 1 game of the season. So they're having 3 points. And this game against Metz is a game must win for Lyon. The reason why I'm saying this is because they want to compete at the highest level. Yes, Lyon is actually under construction. They have a project they're working on, and one of their targets is to be among the top 4 at the end of the season, qualify for European competition, because there is even European competition this year that they are going to participate in for. So I think this game against Metz is just another game for them to get a victory, and to me, it's a game must win for Lyon. When you take a look, there is a game of Lorient against Reims, which is actually going to be the first game that is going to be played on Sunday. Lorient against Reims. Remember, this Reims is the same club that won Marseille on that Ligue 1 first day, Friday. Reims against Marseille, where Reims won the game 1-0. So Reims is going to be playing against Lorient, and it is a game must win for them. Also, when you take a look at the second game of the day, the second game that is going to be played on Sunday is a game of Le Havre against Lens. Is going to be played at 4:45 Cameroon time. There is a game of Toulouse against Brest. Toulouse won their first league game of the season. Lens lost their first league game of the season. So this game is going to be somehow balanced, because Lens will be trying to get a comeback for the league. They'll try to like have a first win in the league, and Toulouse will and Le Havre also will be trying to get a win, also their first win of the season, right? So it is going to be a balanced game between those two clubs. Now, when you take a look at the odd, that's another game that is going to be played on that same Sunday. We'll have the game of Toulouse against Brest. It's going to be played at 4:45, the same as the game of Le Havre against Lens. There is the game of Strasbourg against Nantes, is also going to be played at 4:15. So, which is also an important game. Remember, Strasbourg won their first league game of the season, and Nantes lost their first league game of the season to PSG, and they played that game very well against PSG because they considered just one goal against the European champions. So this game is going to be somehow balanced between these two clubs, and the final game of Sunday is going to be the game of Lille against Monaco. Yes, Lille shared points against Brest on match week 1, and this is going to be match week 2. Can they be able to get a win over Monaco, because Monaco won their first league game of the season and they will want to continue with the winning momentum? Remember, I can still remember, I think that was 2018-2019 football season, if I'm not mistaken, or 2020-2021, where Lille won the Ligue 1 title, and since then it have been PSG. I think many of these clubs are ready to battle and see if they can win. And when you take a look at this Monaco team, you discover that it is made up of Paul Pogba and Ansu Fati and even many other players. So it is a game must win for Monaco because of the quality of players they're having. And when you take a look at this Lille team, you discover that they lost their best goalkeeper, Lucas Chevalier, to PSG. They lost their best striker, Jonathan David, to Juventus. So even if they lost the game, it is not going to like disturb many fans, because everybody knows that even though they are playing at home, Monaco is standing a higher chance to win this game against them, right? Guys, if you are watching the video right up to this point, my first question is, who do you think is the clear favorite to win the Ligue 1 title this season, 2025-2026? And also, if you have watched the video right up to this point, I will appreciate, like you can say, I'm just from starting, my YouTube channel is still very fresh, I'm just from starting, right? And I will appreciate if you can tell me what I said which is not actually correct, so I can get it corrected. You are going to enjoy my next videos. And most importantly as well, I will appreciate if you can hit the thumb up to this video, you drop at least a comment down in the comment section, you subscribe to my YouTube channel, you turn on the notification bell, and see you guys until my next video.